Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider does. Well, Spider-Man does many things, such as being in a new movie that is a remake of Your Trip.
You made out with your sister!
And boy, is it a thing. Okay, I'll level with you. I'm recording this before I've seen the movie, and through the magic of editing, I can act like I've seen it, and by the time I have seen it, you won't even know. Isn't time fascinating? Anyway, another thing Spider-Man does is have some post-credit scenes, so let's talk with him. If you haven't guessed, spoilers. So if you don't want Far From Home spoiled,
get out!
Spider-Man Far From Home has 2 credit scenes, one mid-credit and one post-credits, and as we'll see, the mid-credit scenes will have big implications for the Spider-Man film series, whereas the post-credit scene could have big implications for the MCU as a whole. Starting first with the mid-credit scene, which begins with Peter and MJ going for a swing, them now being an item and her knowing that he is Spider-Man. However, this happy moment doesn't last long, as on a screen in New York, a bulletin begins to play from the Daily Bugle. It shows doctored footage from the supposed death of Quentin Beck, made to show that Spider-Man killed him when he tried to stop him from attacking London. Which, let's be honest, as soon as Peter said execute to the drones, that was a pretty poor choice of words.
Hey, phrasing!
Regardless of that, Spider-Man is made to look guilty of the attack, but more shocking then is that Beck revealed to the world that Spider-Man is none other than Peter Parker, even including a photo of him. The film then seemingly ends with Peter as a fugitive, and of course the world knowing his true identity. Spider-Man has had his identity revealed to the world in comics before, most notably in Civil War. But it's also quite like a Daredevil run that had Matt Murdock's identity outed by the papers. Actually, that run begins with Mysterio shooting himself in the stomach in front of Daredevil, and killing himself. Huh. There's actually a few similarities there. This will obviously have pretty big ramifications for the next Spider-Man film, and would seemingly mean that the Vulture knowing his identity isn't that big a deal anymore. But it could easily make him a target for villains, possibly even leading to the Sinister Six. What's also interesting in this mid-credit scene is that we get our J. Jonah Jameson in this universe, who is actually played again by J.K. Simmons, who was previously outstanding as a character in Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. There was some talk of this as he was at the Far From Home premiere, but here he is. He looks different. He's bald and has a longer mustache. He's also something of a more conspiracy peddler than the last version, not unlike the J. Jonah Jameson from the PS4 game.
Is he hacking into all our conversations?
This revealed identity, though, will no doubt be a huge factor in the next Spider-Man film. Spider-Man back home again. Spider-Man home on the range. Spider-Man fly away home. That's why you're here, right? References to Fly Away Home, a movie in which Jeff Daniels tries to get a flock of geese to migrate. Could this be the plot of Spider-Man 3? No. But what we do know is that the post-credit scene could have a big impact on the future of the MCU. Nick Fury and Maria Hill are driving a car, only they're not, as it is in fact Talos and Sauron, who were previously seen in Captain Marvel. Talos being played by Ben Mendelsohn. However, there is nothing sinister here, as we see Talos contacting Fury to say that things are getting a bit intense here and maybe it's time for Fury to come back. Nick Fury is in space on a ship with lots of Skrulls and tells him to get to work. So Fury sent him to impersonate him in Hill.
That just raises further questions!
Yeah, pretty much. For one, how long has Fury not been Fury? And what's he doing? Considering how long he's known Talos, the Fury we know could have been a Skrull at any point. Is it just post-blip? Was the man who got dusted actually Fury? What is interesting is that the art book for Captain Marvel featured art with the Skrull becoming Nick Fury. Whether this was just a concept or was intended to be revealed in that movie is still unclear. Then we have to wonder why he was in space, and what he might have been doing. One possible reason is SWORD. While S.H.I.E.L.D. generally deals with things on Earth, SWORD are something of a version of that dealing with aliens and the cosmic. Stands for Sentient World Observation and Response Department. Frankly, there's been plenty of reasons to set up that organisation given how much alien and space stuff goes on in the MCU, and this would allow Fury to have an eye on Earth and in space. You know, 2 eyes. Oof. Sorry, Nick. It also raises the question of where is Maria Hill, or is she real at all? While we see the real Nick Fury, we never see the actual Maria Hill. Is she based on a real person, and if so, where is she? And finally, what most people are probably wondering, what does this mean for a Secret Invasion storyline, whereby Skrulls impersonated many top-ranking officials and heroes? Well, nothing, officially. In fact, this is more evidence that the Skrulls are good guys. Then again, there's always the possibility that Talos or another rogue Skrull could betray Fury and masquerade as a top official, or even an Avenger. This is more a tease of the idea the Skrulls could be anywhere, but it doesn't really offer any definitives about them taking over. Yet. What did you think of the Far From Home credit scenes? Is there something I missed? Let me know in the comments below. Ugh. Can. Does whatever a spider can. God damn it, I should have got that right. Well, if you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be putting more stuff up on this channel, including trailer breakdowns, reviews, and a hell of a lot more. So please be sure to subscribe, because I cannot spell cult without you.